Thank you so much for having your quick lunches and being back. In the previous session, we heard how the police is using technology to fulfill citizens' goals. And in this session, I'm very happy to share that how embracing the power of robotics, industries and healthcare have witnessed a remarkable transformation. Robots, acting as indispensable partners, now handle dangerous tasks, interact with humans, and lighten the physical burden, enhancing the quality of life for workers worldwide. So I'm very happy to announce the session today, Robotics, touching lives of healthcare professionals and industrial workers. And it gives me great pleasure to invite Sangeet Kumar, co-founder, Addverb Technologies, to the stage. Sangeet has 2 decades of experience in robotics. He has specialized in both process and material handling automation. He has an extensive background in high-speed packing machines, automated storage and retrieval systems. He's worked in pivotal role with Asian Paints for 10+ years. At Asian Paints, he succeeded in setting up India's most automated factories and warehouses with state-of-the-art robotics and automation systems. He has successfully designed and commissioned 2 paint factories, one in Chennai and the other one at Rohtak. These paint factories are now 2 of the most automated in the whole world. So big round of applause for Sangeet Kumar. Over to you.
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yes, I worked for Asian Paint for considerable number of years, around 13, 14 years. And for last 7 years, I have been working for Addverb. Addverb is into robotics and warehouse automation. We are one of India's largest robotics company, and we intend to be world's largest in the next 7 years. So this is what we intend to do. We have 2 factories, one at Noida, another at Greater Noida. Greater Noida is at a single location, it is one of the largest factory for robots. It can produce 1 lakh robots a year. And these robots are for various applications, but mostly factories, warehouse automation, and hospitals. So, in the next 20 minutes, I'll be talking about future of robotics. And future, according to me, can be with the perspective of three people. One is the person who imagines, who creates movies, he writes science fiction. That future is 20 years from now, or 25 years from now. There is another future, which is future according to the researchers in labs, colleges, universities, etc. That future is 10 years from now. And then there is future according to us, the practitioners, which is 5 years from now. So I'll be concentrating my talk on what is going to happen in next 5 years as far as robotics is concerned. Robotics, if you are aware, today in the whole world, across all segments, whether it is house robot, whether it is a robot in industry, in factories, in warehouses, etc., there is around 30 million robots here. And the best country would be South Korea, where there is around 500 or 700 robots per 10,000 people, industrial worker, as far as industry is concerned. Now, but this is present. In the next 40 years, what is being predicted is there will be 8.5 billion people residing on Earth, and there will be 8.5 billion robots, 1:1, like mobile phones today. and you will have robots touching every sphere of life, whether it is transportation, whether it is your home, kitchen robots. Today, there are robots for commercial kitchens which cost 30 lakhs, 40 lakhs. There are many companies in the world. I know of one company which has more than 1,500 robotic engineers solving or trying to solve this problem, wherein they want to reduce the cost of this kitchen robot to 1.5 lakhs. And then you will, like refrigerators, there will be robots which can cook food according to your taste. So this is what future entails as far as robotics is concerned. Can I go to the next slide, please? Yeah. This I have already spoken. We make all kinds of robots. We make cobots, which is stationary robot. We make all kinds of mobile robots on natural navigation, on grid-based navigation, etc., etc. And then we also make legged robots for very specific application. We make exoskeletons for healthcare, which is for patients if they are stroke patients and they have forgotten how to lift their hand. Then you have an active robot which you can wear, which assists you in making you learn the movement which you have forgotten. So these are various kinds of robots that we make. Now, I'm a chemical engineer, by the way. I graduated in 2002, and then I started in a refinery, and then I moved to Asian Paints, where for the first time in 2004, I came in contact with robots, and I fell in love with robotics. In 2004 or 5, that was my first project, wherein we implemented a palletization robot. So this is 20-liter paint, which is 30 kg, and we realized that humans, after 8 hours, if they keep on doing for 7 years, 8 years, there is this disease which is very popular now, MSD, muscular skeletal disorder, which you see, which is very common with workers in India working in warehouses or workers in America. And therefore, when Jeff Bezos was leaving, the first challenge, the first and foremost challenge, which he said that it needed to be solved for them, was MSD. So we were also, for most of our workers who were lifting these cans, the 20-liter bucket, which you would have seen, omnipresent bucket of Asian Paints. They used to have this back problem. And the CEO then said that we need to have a solution, and if anywhere in the world it can work, it will work in India as well. And few of us engineers, we went across the world, we saw various technologies. We got the robot, the first robot. Now these robots were very similar robots which existed in 1980s, 1990s, where we got it in 2004, but it had existed from 1980s. These robots needed to be caged. They were extremely expensive at certain point of time. One cell was 1.5 crore, and at certain point of time we were also debating why do we need to invest in that. And we did this whole thing and we failed for the first time. And then we were given another chance, and luckily for us and for Asian Paints, we succeeded and we kept on doing this every year. Now we have 300, 400 robots doing these for every factory in Asian Paints. But what has changed from 2004 to in 2006 when we started, 2016, sorry, when we started as Addverb? There are many, many things which has changed. These robots which were caged, Because the first principle or the first law of robotics is no robot can hurt human being. So they needed to be caged. And you cannot go inside the cage. If you go inside the cage, it can be fatal. So, and at that time, in 2004, when we imported these robots and implemented it, 80% of robotics was hardware. Today, and 20% was software, and these software were completely owned by certain companies, very closed software, very industrial software. And then today, as we stand today, 60% of robots is software, 40% is hardware. It continues to be a precise equipment. It continues to be a marvel as far as electromechanical equipment is concerned, but it is a software. And that is what runs these robots. Software at both ends, at embedded end and as well as on the edge, which I'll be talking more about. So how I see future of robotics, this is one part of it, because there is software, then you can do so many things with robotics. And therefore, earlier when it was only Germany and Japan, to some extent, Germany and Japan which were leading robotics industry, today it is, for all reasons, it is China which is leading robotics industry, and it is because of software and advent of machine learning and AI and the application of that, and anything which can be solved by a precise movement, let us say, can be solved by electromechanical precision. You can also solve it by having certain error and correction mechanism and feedback mechanism, which is what software enables the robot to do. So so according to me, how the future will unfold for robotics. So there are four kind of future, because it is a complex equipment. It is a electromechanical equipment. It is a software. It is there is a supervisory layer of software which runs hundreds of robots if they are there present at one warehouse or a factory or one hospital. So you need a great fleet management. So there is future associated to how the hardware is moving, future associated with how the software is moving, future associated with fleet, and future associated with the first law of robotics, which is robots cannot and will not harm human beings, whatever happens. So where the world is moving, from the caged robot, which was this, from the caged robot, the world is moving towards this. These are cobots, collaborative robots, which can work alongside human beings, and it cannot hurt human beings because they have torque sensors in every joint. And when it touches you, it stops, or you can change the motion of the robot. What is happening is also this, where expert, and we were talking about, we were listening to the IPS officer when he was talking about experts being, experts being in remotely controlling several applications. So this is one of the application where robots is control, or it is a telerobotics where robots is controlled by an expert sitting at a remote location and trying to do something. Now that something can be imaging. In this case, it is imaging. And this is something which we did for AIIMS and IIT Delhi during Corona period, wherein radiologists did not want to go to the patient for doing ultrasound, and we needed a robot to do that. But there were limitations at that point of time in terms of networking strength and in terms of the ability of the sensors to sense depth. for this application. There are sensors for sensing depth for several other applications, etc. So this is where robotics is going into. Sorry. Yeah. And this is where robotics is going into, wherein there are mobile manipulators. So earlier there was caged robot, which is articulated robot, then you have cobot, and now you have cobot sitting on a mobile robot. So now cobot does not need to be stationary, and you need to go to the cobot to work alongside that cobot, but it is also the mobile robot coming along with you and working along with you. So, yeah. Now, coming to future of robotics, I spoke about 4 things. Now, the first is the hardware. The hardware itself is changing because robots is coming out of the cage. So the material of construction, it is not steel anymore. It has to be smooth or light. So people move to carbon fiber. Then now people are moving, because robots will touch human beings, therefore it needs to have a particular kind of skin, etc. So this is where, in the hardware terms, this is where the robotics, there is some problem. Yeah. The robots will have skins, and therefore, in terms of hardware itself, the robotics is changing. The other thing what is happening is these robots need not be so large. So the actuators which was giving that energy or the torque which was required for industrial application or for health application, those actuators are becoming smaller and smaller, and it needs to become smaller. So energy extracted from a very small actuator, because it has to go into your homes. It has to go into there are robots which goes inside the human body. So if it has to, and still move. So if that has to happen, then the actuators need to change. And that is changing very, very rapidly in the research labs, in the industry, so that these robots are used in various applications. The other place where the future of robotics is in software. As I was saying, it is 60% software today, which will become 90% software in future. So it is software at the embedded end. So there has to be, because robots today, robots can do anything if you train it that way. So that training, if it has to be done and the algorithm has to run those heavy algorithm with so much of data, then there has to be lot of edge computing which needs to happen. The other thing in software as well as hardware is the safety. So that safety quotient of the hardware and software has to go to next level, because it is interacting with human beings day in and day out. The third future for robot. So today, if you see, the largest density of robot which gets implemented anywhere is 200 robots, 300 robots, 500 robots in 1 lakh square feet area, 2 lakh square feet area. But the future is that there will be 1,000 robots, 10,000 robots in a very small area, doing all different kind of application, collaborating with each other, collaborating with human beings. And then that is when the supervisory layer, or the layer which sits in the cloud, becomes equally very, very important. One robot doing a particular task is very, very easy. Several robots doing that particular task becomes extremely difficult. And that is where the challenge is, and those challenges are getting solved as far as robotics is concerned. Finally, as I was talking about, it is the safety of human beings, which is very, very paramount. So there are standards which are getting written. These are evolving standards. And everywhere, so that humans never get, so there is a risk of two things to humans. One is from the hardware itself, the other is from the software which powers this hardware. And that also should not and never harm robots. And which is what the standard agencies, the various government bodies which are in West are trying to write it, and it is ever evolving because the technology is changing very rapidly in that space. The other thing is about these robots are also susceptible to all the problems that your laptop or mobile phone is susceptible to, because it has a processor. Every company today, whether it is Intel or Qualcomm or Nvidia or TI, everyone is creating processors specific for robot application. And these processors need to be functionally certified. The very definition of functional certification, functional safety certification is changing. So it is an ever evolving field, and this is something which needs to be, for a practitioner, industry practitioner, this is something which is very, very important. So this is where the future of robotics is going, and yeah, thank you very much.
The future of robotics makes the future look very exciting for us indeed. Thank you, Sangeet.